In this video, we're going to be going through how websites work, and it's part of the TryHackMe walkthrough series that we're doing for the pre-security path. This is the third element of the how the web works room. So let's dive right back in. So how do websites work? Basically, you will make a request from your browser. That request will travel through the internet and it will hit the web server. The web server will respond to your request and deliver it to your browser and present it to you in a nice, neat fashion. For instance, whenever you decided to watch this video, your phone or browser, wherever you're watching this from, made a request across the internet to YouTube saying, hey, I want to watch this video, give it to me. And then it said, okay, bet, I'm gonna start streaming this video to you, so get ready for that. And then it started to do that, and well, here we go. Now there are two sides that we need to remember in this conversation, the client side and the server side. Consider yourself the client side. You are the client and the server is what's handling you. And the server is basically what has the website. They are providing the website and its contents to you. So how does it actually give this website to you? Well, the website is coded using HTML or hypertext markup language. It's really not hard to use HTML. I mean, you can see kind of an example down here. It's basically using logical sections and segments to create a web page. You can also use CSS and JavaScript to add functionality and neatness to the website. Pretty much every single website on the internet is a combination of these elements. So would it be helpful for you to know about how to use HTML? At least how to be able to read it? Yeah, that's not bad. And it's super easy, don't worry. If you'd like to see more, let me know in the comments. Same with CSS and JavaScript, because then you can actually manipulate with some of the functionality or some of the graphics. But you know, more on that at some point, I'm sure. Now a disclaimer, for pretty much every section on this walkthrough, there are some practical segments. So I encourage you to walk through this on your own and do some of those practical segments. I obviously have done them in a footage of that, but I just think that it's great practice for you to do that, especially on the sections where there are flags that are unique. You should definitely be doing that. Now let's talk about JavaScript. This is one of the most popular coding languages in the world, even though I hate JavaScript. This is basically used to control the functionality of the pages. For instance, if you're familiar with cross-site scripting, that's a type of attack that you can do on web pages. You're basically exploiting a logic flaw in JavaScript that the designers of the web page didn't account for. So like HTML, it is very helpful to be familiar with JavaScript and kind of how to recognize those things, especially whenever you're looking at the page source to see if you can break something. On the next section, we're looking at sensitive data exposure, and you can actually see that an example of sensitive data exposure, which is part of the OWASP top 10, there will be a video on that coming out at some point, but that's a big no-no. You definitely don't want to have sensitive information, sensitive personal identifiable information, any kind of details about your infrastructure. You don't want that hard-coded on your website. If you really need it on the web page, then you should retrieve it and not really show it anywhere in the hard code or in the code itself on the page source. Funny story, very true, very real from this last year. In the state of Missouri, a reporter actually noticed that there were sensitive information from teachers, including social security numbers, hard-coded like this and exposed on a website. They decided to report this to the school, and that allowed the school to be able to take that information down. However, the state government decided that that made that reporter a hacker. Even though they were taking the responsible step of notifying the school, hey, I noticed this, you need to take this down, this is very bad. And they did so, and it really helped, you know, protect from a pretty bad goof up when building the web page. You know, now that reporter is getting punished. So definitely whenever you're putting these sites together, be very, very careful. The final section is on HTML injection. Basically, that's whenever you are inputting a malicious string into an input field, and it is either putting up some sort of malicious link on the site, it is rerouting the user to somewhere else. You know, there are a number of things that you can do with this, but this includes a practical that you should definitely do. It's pretty fun. So the next section, we're going to put it all together, and if that video is out, check out the top video. If it's not out, then maybe try catching up on the walkthrough series using the bottom playlist. And be sure to like and subscribe because it's 2022 and we're all fearful. See you around.